No, man, that's the way it is. But listen, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays for this Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know, ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesday. Transition Army. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we got an action-packed show today. We got a great special guest that's joining us today. But before we get with this person, I got a couple of housewarming things I got to talk about and discuss. So now, keep in mind now, Transition Tuesdays is powered by Native Of. Native Of is the t-shirt company that combines the creativity of black pop culture with the resilient ability black people have to accompany a space and make it their own. So after the show, head over to nativeof.com for all of your merchandise needs, man. Some conscious stuff going on there, all right? And also, I want to give a shout out to our other sponsor, Sweet Candy Cafe. We're going to talk about them as well. Go and get all your confectionery gifts and goodies there. Head to sweetcandycafe.com. Obviously, you're going to do this after the show is over because I got this special guest. And before I introduce my special guest, I want to talk about my intentions for the show. My intention is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transitions. So that's what we talk about here on Transition Tuesdays. And speaking of honest conversation, I have my special guest here, and I'm going to read his in-depth bio. Alright, we're going to go over this and we're going to bring him out. So my special guest is a native of Bristol, Connecticut, home to ESPN. This guy is a Connecticut basketball legend in St. Paul's High School. In high school, he scored well over 1,000 points. He did that, no problem. He is 1/5 of the famed 1993 class at Manhattan College that started the rebirth of Manhattan hoops. All right, we're going to talk about that. He's a key part of 2 MAC regular season championships, one with me, yours truly, my senior year. Thank you for that, Eddie. And also, he also is a MAC tournament champion, and he's been to a number of NIT tournaments as well. He scored over 1,000 points at Manhattan College. This guy was nice. He was very good. I'll let him talk about that. All right. He is one of the 50th greatest players at the school at Manhattan College history. One of the 50th greatest players. And on Saturday, my good friend will be inducted into the Jasper Athletic Hall of Fame on Saturday. And I'm going to state this, ladies and gentlemen, too. You heard this here first, all right? My special guest, based on his size and weight, I believe this guy is the best, the pound for pound, the best player to ever play at Manhattan College. Pound for pound. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Carey Edwards to Transition Tuesday. Eddie, hold on, let me give you applause. Hi. What's up, Eddie? How are you, sir? You doing well? That's good. That's good to be well. That's good. It's always good to be well. Well, Eddie, I just want to talk about Carey Edwards. Is no stranger to the Transition Tuesday stage. I had Carey Edwards on along with Carey Wilson, Chris Williams, and Keith Bullock. We had a legendary conversation on Transition Tuesdays a number of years ago, but we never had an opportunity to have Eddie on here, the stage to himself, to get all the flowers, to give him his flowers. This guy, I want to give this guy his flowers today. That's what we're going to do. So, hey, speaking of, let me see who's checking in. We got Felicia checking in on the check-in. What's up, Felicia? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Welcome. Now, Eddie, I know you're not too familiar with the show, but I play music for my guests, and I'm gonna play this song right here, Eddie. I want to tell maybe you might like. I don't know. I want to see if you like this, okay? And there's a reason why I'm playing this particular song, but I'm gonna play this for you. You tell me if you can hear it, and tell me what you think. Hold on one second, Eddie. Hold on one second, brother. All right, let me play this here for you. Here we go. Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear it.
You can hear that. All right. Do you know what group is that, Eddie?
No, I
So what's the magic word?
You don't know what group that is? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I got you. And that happens a lot too. You know, with this technology with my phone. I don't know. Maybe we should trash it. I don't know. But that was Eddie. That was the big payback. EPMD. And the reason why I was playing that because Parrish Smith is from, I believe he's from Connecticut. I think he went to Southern Connecticut State, I believe it was.
Yeah, he's from New Haven.
He's from New York. Oh, okay. See. There's a reason why I played this. See, you know what I'm saying, Eddie? There's a reason. Okay. All right.
You know, I thought you were gonna play.
What you thought I was gonna play, Eddie?
I thought you were gonna play "Sensitivity" by Ralph Tresvant.
Oh man.
And I thought you were gonna play that because I had to hide that tape. Remember when Smooth would play that tape all the time?
Absolutely.
And I got to that song.
Oh man, yes, that's right. Sensitivity, Ralph Tresvant. Oh my God. And then I used to remember too, you guys all the time in the room. Boomerang, right? You guys used to watch the Boomerangs? Boomerang, right? Marcus Graham.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, he loved it, right? He just loved that. Oh man, hold on a second. He loved Boomerang. Oh my God. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh man, you may have me going back, Eddie. Maybe I can play that for you before the day's over. I'll play Sensitivity for you.
Nah, play that for me.
Okay, you get it. Okay, I won't. Oh man.
Room with Christopher Williams.
Oh man, I know, right? Not the singer Christopher Williams either, right? The ball player.
Oh.
Yep.
Yo, Uncle Smoothie.
I know, right? Uncle Smoothie, right? This guy is alter egos. All right, what? You know, I think he has a game tonight too. He would have joined us. I know Smoothie, Uncle Smoothie would have joined us tonight, no doubt about it. So Eddie, man, I'm glad to have you, man, on here for a couple of minutes, man. Appreciate your time because I know you're a busy young man, and you know you got a lot of things going on, especially on Saturday. We're gonna talk about that, but. Eddie, man, how are you and your family doing, you know, dealing with these two pandemics that we have right now? You know, you got COVID, obviously, and you got social injustice for black people, man. So, you know, how are you and your family doing with these two pandemics going on right now, man?
Well, the first pandemic, COVID-19, we were trying to be as careful as possible.
Right.
I have some family members that are actually actually have some underlying conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to be as careful as possible.
Right.
Actually, in the beginning, we didn't see each other a lot because we were being careful.
Right.
And we all did get vaccinated, and we thought it was important.
Good.
It was important for all of us to see each other, and for the family to be able to get together, but also not to worry about it.
Right.
Especially in the position I'm in, working with a bunch of people all the time.
Sure.
So I'm always around different people, different children, different parents, and things like that. So
yeah.
I thought it was important, especially for me, to be vaccinated. So
yeah.
I had a lower probability of giving it to someone in my family that was compromised. So that's the first thing. I really believe that this is a public issue.
Yeah.
And we all have a right to not put something in our body, but we do not have the right to actually hurt someone else.
Right.
That's how I look at it. So I don't believe that you have to get a vaccine or something like that, but I do think that your ability to help the public is what you should do. So I believe that we should mask and do everything we can do if you don't want to vaccinate. So that's how I look at it. And social unrest, I think that, as you know, I have parents that actually grew up in the Deep South. They grew up in Georgia, so they grew up through a lot of that. So I think that that's one thing that they've always talked to us about, the civil unrest. But I really believe that it's all about education and educating everyone, and making sure that we understand how systematically things happen.
Okay.
It's not really just what people feel or people think. It's when it happens systematically, when laws and things like that are changed to give people issues. So I really want to, in my position, I always want to talk about education.
Yeah.
And making sure that we always understand how it happened in the beginning. So when we know how it happened, we always know how not to let it happen again.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing we need to we need to think about, is to make sure that we're educated. We understand how it systematically happened, and we have to really make sure that it doesn't happen for generations in the future. We need to stop the systematic racism and the systematic injustices. That's what we need to stop, so they can move forward in the future.
Now that sounds good, and by having that, honest conversation and dialogue about it too. Yep. Amen to that, Eddie. Amen, man. Definitely. Hey, Eddie, man, wanted to talk to you I had a couple of questions for you. Now, some stuff planned, some stuff is going to be off the top of the head. You know how we do, Eddie. But so Eddie, man, how was it growing up in the home of ESPN, Bristol, Connecticut? How was it for you and your family, your brother, your family? How was it you growing up, man? How was it? How was it like?
Actually, ESPN, I remember when it came to Bristol, so it wasn't there the whole time.
Right. Okay.
and I remember when it was one building with one satellite. I remember that.
Wow.
Now you can't even drive around the property, but before it was one building and one satellite. I think I had a normal childhood. I actually was born in New Britain, Connecticut. I wasn't born in Bristol.
Wow. Okay.
My parents actually moved to Bristol, and I guess why I talk about education all the time is because that was a big reason why they moved. I was born in New Britain, and my parents went out looking for a house, and there was 3 or 4 houses that they found for around the same price. And then my mother went to do mother things, and she started looking at the school system. And we moved to Bristol because throughout from where they were looking for, Bristol was the best school system.
Wow.
So that's how I got there. And growing up there, it was actually really, really competitive. I guess I'm gonna name drop now.
Okay. What you got?
Steve Heichel, the coach at Rutgers University. He grew up in Bristol at that time. Malcolm Huckabee, one of the guards that played at BC that beat North Carolina. I want to say in 1995 he was there.
And he does a hell of a job on ESPN, man. And Eddie, not to cut you off, brother. Not to cut you off. Speaking of ESPN, we got your former teammate on here, Uncle Smoothie. He has joined us. He says, "Crazy Eddie." This guy, he takes the time from ESPN, like you mentioned, Huckabee and stuff too. But but you got your former roommate, your former teammate on the check-in. So just want to let you know.
Yes, he is. So to get back where Malcolm was there, Martin and his brother were there.
Okay.
My cousin who went to Rhode Island was there. So I'm just saying, we had a bunch of athletes there, and I think really the thing that happened with me was it was really the competitive spirit. None of us wanted to lose to anybody. And it didn't matter. It was Little League baseball, it was basketball, it was football.
Right.
It didn't matter. We didn't want to lose.
Right.
And I think that's what, and even though it was a small place, not like where you grew up in New York, it was a small place, we had to compete against each other all the time. And I think that competitive spirit got to all of us. And I think that's why all of us actually are doing what we're doing now, not just making it to Division I basketball and playing and being successful, but we're all successful later because of that spirit that we sort of brought out in each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got Pam joining us as well. What's going on, Pam? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. We got Pam saying congratulations to you, Eddie, on making the Hall of Fame. So that's good stuff there, man. Oh, good stuff. We got people on the check-in congratulating this guy. This guy ain't even in yet. Hold on now. He comes in on Sunday, Saturday. Come on. But we'll give him his props. That's what we're going to do. We give him flowers here. No problem. So now, Eddie, hey, man, when was the first time you were introduced to playing basketball?
There's a picture in my house that my mother kept a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
It was a picture of my father. My father was playing in a basketball league, and I was acting a fool. I was crying, and why I was crying because I wanted to play. I didn't want to sit on the sideline.
How old were you, Eddie? How old were you?
I want to say I was like 2 or 3. I was really young.
Whoa!
And my father actually had to come off the court and come get me because I wouldn't stop crying because I wanted to play. And I think that's what introduced me to it. My father was an athlete, loved to play, and I think and I just sort of followed his footsteps. I saw him and I wanted to do what he did, so that's what started me playing basketball.
And you know, if for the people out there who never got a chance to see Carey play, Carey was an amazing athlete, man. And so, Eddie, when was the first? Tell me the first age you were when you dunked, because I got a dunk story about you too. I'm gonna share, but how old were you the first time? How old were you the first time you dunked the basketball?
The first time I dunked the basketball, I was in 8th grade.
Oh boy.
So we're gonna go back to old school. We're not actually lifting weights and doing that at that time.
Right.
I wanted to dunk. I wanted to jump higher. I wanted to be a better athlete. So my father told me he bought me some ankle weights.
Oh,
weights.
Yes.
And he said, walk around with these on. And the one thing I did is I actually listened to my father. So I would, so I put them on. I must have looked like an idiot because I'm in school with some jeans on and some ankle weights.
Hey Eddie, did you have the ankle weights, the ones that tie up, or you had the Velcro ones? Which one did you have, man?
I had Velcro ones. Come on, bro. There's the Velcro ones. So I just walked around in them. I ran in them. I played in them all the time. And then I think I did that for like 6 months. And then one day I was just in the gym. It was gym class. And you know, and where I went to school, Northeast Junior High in Bristol, the wall was close enough that people could jump off the wall. So people were jumping off the wall and dunking and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I'm trying this today. And I just went up and I dunked it and it rattled in, but I was so excited. And that was actually the first time I dunked in 8th grade in a gym class.
Wow, man! Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's a great story, Eddie. But I'm gonna share with the public, the general public here. They probably never. Eddie, you've heard this story because I still to this day I marvel at this story I'm about to tell. All right, so one time we're going for preseason. We're going to have dinner as a team. So we're all waiting in the gym. So, you know, people shooting around, what have you. Then next thing you know, you have Carey Edwards, you have Crazy Eddie, you have Eddie. This guy takes off his sneakers, his shoes. He took off his shoes. So imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's in bare feet. This guy is dunking the basketball with no problems. Here's a guy, I need some platform shoes to get up and dunk like this. But this guy in bare feet. And Eddie, to this day, I just marveled that. I said, wait a second, how is he doing that? To this day, I don't know how you did that, Eddie. I don't know what possessed you to do that during that time, but I guess you want to show off your skills or something. I don't know what it was, Eddie, before we went to go eat.
I don't know why I did that. Right?
I don't know, but it's just something that's etched in my brain. I mean, like for me, Eddie, I couldn't jump over a damn credit card. You know what I mean? So that's why I marvel at that. That's why I'm on it. Oh man. So Eddie, man, talk to us about your high school experience, man. Were your teams competitive? Did you guys have rival schools in Connecticut? Because I know Connecticut is rich in basketball, basketball talent, man. Especially during that time in which we played. So talk to me about your teams, your teams there in high school.
My teams, we were actually pretty good. My freshman year, I started on a team that was ranked in the nation.
Wow. Didn't know that, Eddie.
Yeah, come on. Know your stuff.
Do your research.
Do your research. We were actually pretty good. We lost to Warren Harding in the finals in the championship game.
Wow.
Another team that was ranked in the nation. So we were pretty good. But as a freshman, I played with 4 seniors. Actually, I want to say there was 7 seniors on that team.
Wow.
I did start and played a lot. But the next year, my sophomore year, we got beat up a little bit. We had a winning record. We made the state tournament, but we got beat up a little bit because I want to say I might have been one of the oldest people on the team. We had a really young team. And then my junior year, I believe that we were young again. We started a point guard, a freshman point guard. And then we all had to gel a little bit. It was hard to start, to be good with a freshman point guard. You have to get better.
Yep.
But by the end of the year, we actually got pretty good. We won the state championship that year.
Wow.
We beat Chris Smith, Connecticut's own.
Wow. With the Smitty dribble, you beat that guy?
With the Smitty dribble. We beat him in the semifinals, I want to think. We beat them in the semifinals, and we went on to beat New London in the state championship game.
Wow.
And then my senior year, we were ranked, I want to say, number 1 and number 2 most of the year. And my senior year, we had a bad stretch at the end of the year. And this happens to a lot of teams. We just had it at the end of the year when it was tournament time. And we got beat, I want to say, in the 3rd round of the tournament. But I want to say we had I had a good career. We did a lot of good things at St. Paul. We had a rival, Bristol Central. That was a big rival. We actually had a few rivals. We were actually in 2 conferences at the time. We were in the HCC, the Harford County Conference, with all the Catholic schools at the time.
Okay.
And I want to say it was Northwest Valley or something like that conference. So Middletown was really good. We had our in-city rivals, which Bristol Central was really good. I want to say my junior year, we won the state championship. The senior year, I want to say they won it at Bristol Central.
Right.
And then the Harford County Conference, we played against St. Thomas Aquinas and St. South and in all the Catholic schools. And Scott Satulik that went to Fairfield.
Yes.
At St. Thomas Aquinas. Yes, he was at St. Thomas Aquinas. And him and a few other guys. So we had a bunch of rivalries. We played pretty well. But you never do as well as you think you should have. Right, I think we all look back.
Yeah,
we never really talk about the wins as much as we talk about the losses.
Yeah, absolutely.
That we let get away. And I really believe we let it get away our senior year. But looking back at it now, sometimes you have bad stretches, and we had a bad stretch at the wrong time of the year. You understand? So, and we had the year before we had a good stretch at the end of the year. Right, we started playing really well at the end. Right, and then the next year we started playing really poorly at the end. So it happens like that. But I want to say the one thing I thought I did is I think I got the most out of my ability in high school and in college. So I think that's the one thing I'm proud of. I really think that every ounce of what I had, I got out of it. Hey
Eddie, man, we got Pam wants to know what was your fondest memory playing college basketball? So I want you to think about that a little bit because we're gonna get to the journey of college basketball in a second. But I want you to think about that. That's coming from Pam. So hold on, Pam. Hold on for us. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay. So Eddie, man, talk to me about the recruiting process in high school for you. Tell me about your top 4 schools that you had, and I want to know like who was involved with your recruiting process. Was your family? Was your varsity coach involved? Talk me about the recruiting process there.
Well, my father was in charge of everything.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
I think he got some advice from some people.
Mm-hmm.
All the people I named before, my cousin,
Right.
Mr. Pikel, Mr. Huckabee, there was some other guys that played around during that time too that he got advice from, but he actually took control of most of this stuff.
Sure.
I was lucky enough to have parents that actually put some time into it and actually thought about what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting recruited pretty early on. I actually went to Georgetown camp after my freshman year.
Wow. Okay.
And I was a camper there.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing that Georgetown did is that at the end of the day, the all-star campers got to play against the team. So I was out there as a freshman in high school playing against David Wingate, Alec Ewing, and all that.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I was actually getting recruited by Georgetown pretty early.
Okay.
During one of those all-star games, I got a breakaway dunk in one of those games.
What?
And they were like, "Wow, who is this kid?" So I was actually being recruited. I was getting letters and stuff from Georgetown pretty early. I was around my height. I think I was around 6'4" as a freshman that year. I think at the end of my freshman year, I was 6'4". So we thought I was going to be 6'9", Russ. If I was 6'9", I would have never known you.
I know. I get that.
After my freshman year, I stopped growing. So I was getting recruited pretty early, but my last 2 was Fairfield and Manhattan College, and I want to say it was the same 2 as Keith Bullock. And we both actually went to both those visits together.
Really? Wow.
We went to Manhattan one week, and the next week we were at Fairfield together.
Wow. What sold you about Manhattan, man? Than Fairfield for you guys? Well, especially let's talk about you. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you, Russell.
What? It was probably like, you know what sold you probably, he's like, yeah, damn, if this guy Russ is playing, I'm way better than this guy, so I know I can just come in and just wreck shop, man, so I get that.
It's a couple things.
Okay.
Like I said, my father was big into it, and as much as he was big into it, it was always my decision. I think he felt his job was to not make the decision, but make sure I had a clear head about the decision. You understand?
Right.
And the decision happened pretty funny. It was we were riding in the car one day. I don't know where we were going. We were just talking. And the one thing he's always told me is that you want to go somewhere where they want you. You don't want to go somewhere where it's just like, you want to go somewhere where they want you and they have a plan for you. So we were talking. Fairfield said a few things. The one thing he told me, he said, and you know, Connecticut's a pretty small state, so I knew all those guys. You know, I had played with those guys. And he told me, the coach of Fairfield said, well, you're not going to play until you're a junior. I'm sitting there, I play with these guys. I'm better than these guys.
Right, what?
So he told me that. Another thing is I had a conversation with one of their coaches. And once again, we all know each other in Connecticut pretty well. And I said, are you guys recruiting Carey Wilson? because Carey and I sort of played the same position.
Right.
So we asked questions like that. Who else are you recruiting?
Uh-huh.
And they told me, they said, well, we don't think Carey Wilson's a Division I basketball player.
What?
And so, and I don't know if I ever told Carey that story.
Yeah, I never heard that one, Eddie.
So they told me they did not think Carey Wilson was a Division I basketball player. So my father and I had that conversation. I'm like, well, we think he's a Division I basketball player.
Right.
And if you're not smart enough to recruit him, I don't know if I want to go there. So I think in the end it was, I felt like Manhattan really wanted me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that Coach Lapis had some energy that I liked.
Yeah.
And I was always the type that I didn't want to go somewhere and be part of just a line of something. I wanted to start something myself. I wanted to be, I like to be history myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I really felt that if we could get it done at Manhattan and turn it around, that is actually more special than just being part of somebody's lineage.
Yeah.
So I think those were the reasons. I actually signed day one, the first day.
Oh, so you were the first one that signed, Eddie, in that group of five, like the Fab Five type of deal.
I was the first one to sign, and I was so nervous because I was like, Keith, you better be coming. Keith, you better be coming. So that's sort of, I signed with like that faith, like Keith is coming.
Wow.
He's coming with me.
Uh-huh.
And so then Keith signed, and then Carey signed, then it just happened that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very nervous because I was actually signed on the first day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was nervous. I was waiting for Keith. I was like, "Come on, young fella."
Wow. So Eddie, so you set the pace, man. So because of you taking the chance, Eddie, you set the pace on this one, man. This is very reminiscent of the Fab Five. That's because Coach Lap recruited everybody for every position, and the way the dump. So in essence, for you, Eddie, you were like Juwan Howard. You know how Juwan Howard, he signed first, and then he did the recruiting. Then he got these other cats coming. Next thing you know, you got the Fab Five at Michigan. That was like the Fab Five from Manhattan College.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I was just waiting for Big Bull to come. I was like, "Come on, big fella, I need you." So and then Carey came, and like I said, and then we got Chris late,
mm-hmm.
and I want to say, and it was like then after that we all became fast friends and
absolutely
teammates. So,
yeah. Hey Eddie, man, who did you pattern your game after when you played? Was it one particular guy? Who would you pattern your game after?
I think I watched a lot of guys. I mean, I think growing up, we all started watching Dr. J, right?
Yep.
We started watching. I watched a lot of Michael Jordan,
mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But I don't know if I patterned my game after them. I think they did stuff I couldn't do.
Right.
But I think really I did a lot of stuff. I watched a lot of people, and in watching them, I tried to put whatever I thought I could do
mm-hmm.
into my game. I tried to pattern it that way.
Right.
I was for some reason I was pretty strong, so I had an ability to take hits and really be able to make shots while I was taking hits.
Yep.
So I really worked on a lot of the jab step series, being
mm-hmm.
able to get my shoulder by people and be able to make
yep.
shots like that.
Yep.
And then as I got older, I had to move my range back and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what I think I watched a lot of sports. I did a lot of things, so I don't know if I patterned it after one person per se. But
okay.
Really, I would. And I keep saying my father. I think that he was a big part of my life.
Sure.
Still is. And I think he was my father was really about being smart about everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
So when we watched sports and we watched everything, it was never just about that guy's athletic ability, but what he did, how did he do it, why did he do that.
Right.
So he really taught me how to think a game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that helped me at Manhattan too, because I think I actually had to change my style when we got there.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, we really just ran it up and down the court, and I just
Right.
did what I wanted to do.
Right.
And then, Coach Lapp really wanted to control us and show us motion offense.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
And
no screening rolls, none of that. Oh my God.
Stuff, right? So I think that it was a big change for me. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a change for everybody.
Yeah.
But because we always talked about thinking the game and doing like that, I think it helped me be able to get through that process.
Mm-hmm. Understood. Hey, let's get to Pam's question. What was your fondest memory playing college basketball at Manhattan College? Do you have that one particular fondest memory?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay. What is that, Eddie?
I think my fondest memory is when we went to Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame out there. And that was without all you guys.
Right.
and I say it's my fondest memory because I wasn't with all you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was my grad school year when,
yep.
when all you guys were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been, okay, now I didn't have the crutch of Keith was there or Russ is there or Gary Wilson's going to do something. Mm-hmm. It was sort of, okay, it's my time.
Yeah.
And so I was in, I think the thing I was most proud of is when we went out after at the beginning of the game, and we all got together in our huddle, and we always talked about it. And because Kevin O'Keefe keeps telling me about this, I told everybody, I said, when we win this game, you are not to run off this floor and celebrate because we meant to do this.
Right.
So we won, and we ran off like that's what we meant to do. Mm-hmm. And I think that's my fondest memory because that's when I really believe we started to turn the corner where it wasn't a vision anymore. Because when we got there, we were on the vision of this is what we are going to do. This is how we're going to do it.
Yep.
And I think at that point, that's when we started to turn the corner where it's not a vision anymore. This is who we are. We beat you if you allow it.
Right.
And I think we did it that year, and then the next year they went in the tournament. They played Oklahoma and they beat them. So I think that's where we started to turn as athletes, really saying, you know what, we can't do this. This isn't something. We're not highfalutin now, thinking in the clouds. We actually can do it.
We can do it, yeah. And Eddie did it on his own without anybody else, not those guys. Oh man, Eddie, you're funny. So Eddie, man, couple of questions, man, that I have for you. Just a couple more before we let you get out of here. But now Eddie, now people, ladies and gentlemen, transition on. You got to understand, a guy named Carey Edwards was a great player, not only offensive but defensive. Like Carey was our defensive stopper. Carey guarded the best players on the court, all the time. That was a part of the game plan. That was Eddie. That's what he did. So Eddie, this is a two-part question for you.
You didn't play D. That's the reason.
No. No. I did something. I bought into it at the end, Eddie. At the end, I bought into it, not at the beginning. But here's a two-parter for you, Eddie. Now. Okay. And I had Coach Lapis on there, and I forgot to ask him this damn question, but I'm glad I got you on it because I'm going to ask you this question. You being our defensive stopper, why didn't you start on Randy Woods? We played our 92 championship game, MAC championship game. Why wasn't our defensive stopper on Randy Woods? Why was I guarding Randy Woods?
Because I believe they made the decision that nobody was going to stop Randy. Randy was going to get his.
Oh, so he just get his on me? Is that what you're saying?
lot easier to stop.
Yep.
I thought we had a game plan to stop him, and I think we did. I think we did a pretty good job on him.
Definitely.
And I think that was their thinking, that if we could limit him from 25 to 17 or 16,
right,
that's where we're going to win, instead of trying to stop Randy, which we are not going to stop.
Right. Oh, did I get the grunt of all that? Those points. God damn it.
I did start on him when we played him at Manhattan, and we beat him.
Yeah, what's going on with that,
man? Yes, I played him that game.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. I digress. Hey, you know what, too, Eddie, man? I reached maybe like 2 years ago. Now, again, I haven't seen the video of that game. It's just tough for me to watch that game. But when I was at Chris's in Florida, we put it on, and I actually saw the game for the first time in like, damn, almost close to 30 years, man. And a couple of things, Eddie. Couple of things. Yo, man, we got holes in a couple of things. Like, you know, Dave Burnsley, that turnover they had in the backcourt, that was not a backcourt violation.
No, it wasn't. I never thought it was.
God damn. And then I had an and one. I had an and one. They took away the basket. Yeah, that was inside. They played with a 1-on-1. If we'd counted the damn basket. God damn it. Okay, Eddie, talk part 2 to the question, okay? You being a defensive stopper, what you are. And as you know, we used to have great practices, very competitive practices. Everybody got after it. You know, we had some great, you know, if we had film footage of that, man, you know, the practices that we had, everybody got after each other. But here's the question I have for you, Eddie. Eddie, why did you never guarded me in practice, man? I wonder why. Was it like Coach Lapis trying to shield you? You know, I know you want to keep your confidence up. Maybe if you put it on me, you know, your confidence might be shattered. Why didn't Eddie guard me? I guarded everybody. Everybody guarded me. But Eddie never guarded me in practice. I wonder why, Eddie.
Maybe he was trying to keep your confidence up, bro.
Oh my God, Eddie, you was something. Hey, Eddie, man, we got Donna Siebel, one of the greatest Lady Jaspers never played. She says, "Hey, Carey Edwards, yes." That is funny, Eddie. Yes, sir.
We were both starters. We didn't guard each other a lot.
I know, but I guarded I think I guarded Ball one time, a couple of times. David Altair, I guarded these guys, but Eddie never had the assignment to guard me on defense. I don't know.
Never the assignment.
Hey, Eddie, man, yeah, man. Hey, couple of things, man. Do you have any regrets, like basketball regrets, man?
I think I have a couple of them.
Okay.
First of all, St. Thomas More. So I told you I played on at St. Paul my freshman year. I started as a freshman.
Right.
I think I averaged like 9 a game. I wasn't a big part of that team. I just rebounded and passed my cousin and Steve the ball when they wanted me to. But I went from averaging 9 points a game as a freshman to 22 points a game as a sophomore.
Damn.
And St. Thomas More wanted me to transfer there and play there as a junior and a senior. And I probably should have did that. I think one of the things that happened to me is I didn't get taller. We thought I was going to get taller, but I don't know if I really got better my next 2 years.
Okay.
Because I wasn't pushed like I probably should have been pushed. So one of the regrets that I have is I should have went to St. Thomas More at that point. And pushed myself a little bit. But being a sophomore in high school, you have people that you grew up with. You want to stay there with them.
Sure.
And, you know, but yeah, that is something that I wish I had done if I had left and went to St. Thomas More.
Okay. Now, Eddie, I've talked to you before, and I know we've had conversations. Do you regret not transferring to UConn? Because I know you talked about maybe you had an opportunity to transfer to UConn from Manhattan, right?
Yes, I had an opportunity. I think that was a long conversation. Once again, I had with my father. In the end, it probably was. It was. I don't know. It was. I was able to end where I started, which was good. I just had some bad luck breaking my foot with 11 games to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I don't know. I think that at that time I probably made the best decision that I had at that point to stay at Manhattan.
Right. Gotcha. Hey, so Eddie, man, speaking of, Manhattan College, what was your reaction when you got the call saying you're going to be inducted to the Manhattan College Hall of Fame? Like, what's your feelings on that?
I think the older I get, the more reflective I become. And to me, it really wasn't about me anymore. It was more about all the people that I've been with, all the people that have helped me, my parents first and foremost, everything they gave up and what they've done.
Yeah.
To me, it's more of an honor for them to finally to see that everything that they did and everything that they worked for, actually there was something at the end of it for them. So I think that's how I looked at it. Excuse me. More than anything, it was that. It was really to me. It's my time to honor them and to show them how much I appreciate them. And it also made me think about all you guys. No one does this on their own. And,
right.
I think we have so many people off that team that made the Hall of Fame because we were good together. If you're on a team that's bad, no one's gonna make it.
Right.
So it made me think about all those people too, and finally, it made me think of Carey Wilson. Chris got in a couple of years ago.
Right.
And Keith got in, and we knew Keith was going to get in. He probably should have got in before he left. But it made me think of Carey Wilson, and why it made me think of Carey Wilson is because we all did this together. It was all those long nights that we were sitting there and having that dream and that vision, and all those times we pushed each other. We wanted to kill each other at times, but we also loved each other.
Yeah,
we always supported each other.
Definitely.
So I really thought that we all should have went in together.
I agree.
I think that I think that's the way it should have happened, because as much as I have a bunch of points and Keith has a bunch of points and a bunch of rebounds and all that, it wouldn't have happened if all four of us went there together.
That's true.
I think we really all should have went in together. And even if they wanted to put Keith in first, which I'm okay with that. I'm not saying that. But I thought that we all should have went in together because it was a group effort. None of us would have. I wouldn't be here without those three, and I don't think those three would be here without me.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I look at it, and it made me think about him. And I hope that at some point somebody looks at it that way and they honor him the way he should be honored also. Absolutely.
I agree. I definitely agree, that Carey Wilson should definitely be in the Hall of Fame, Manhattan College Hall of Fame. And I'll go as far as to say, that class of 93, I think that class should be in the Hall of Fame personally. Because if it wasn't for that class, Eddie, you know it, because we had a conversation. If it wasn't for you cats taking a chance on Manhattan College, if it wasn't for y'all, you guys opened the floodgates and for everybody to be comfortable to come to Manhattan College. Because a lot of times people are like, Manhattan who? But after you guys came, did what you did, made that, your senior year, the senior year in the 93 team, you wasn't seen at the time, but that you guys made that pack and you guys made the difference, and you guys are the reasons why people came to Manhattan College, and you had people playing professionally and stuff like that because of that class. No doubt about it. If you have to pinpoint one turning point, is that class, and that's the reason why you guys should be Hall of Famers. That class of '93. What do you think about that, Eddie?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Last question for you. I hear you, man. Last question, Eddie, before I let you go, man. What was your motivation for you to go into education? Because I know you're very passionate about education. So, like, what was your motivation about education?
I didn't even get motivated, Ross. I fell into education.
Okay. Oh, there you go. And how did you transition to education? How did that happen, man?
I fell into education. I mean, I played in Malta for a little while.
Yep.
And I was out in Chicago working out, doing all those type of things. Mm-hmm. And when that first NBA lockout came,
mm-hmm.
I was out there.
Mm.
And I forget where it was. I want to say Finland. I forget where it was.
Uh-huh. But
somebody offered. They lowballed me money. They lowballed. Mm. And my agent called me and said, "This is what they offered." And I said, "Fit them." I'm better than that.
I can see you saying that, Eddie.
We're not taking that offer.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny. I tell kids all the time. I say, "I'm still waiting for that call back." I haven't gotten that yet.
But you got the education call that came through.
So what I was doing is I was working out there, but I needed some insurance, Russ.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I was always good in math, and they had a job opening for somebody that helped in a math classroom. Mm-hmm. So I went and did that because I was really working for the insurance.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
And
oh, you there, Eddie? Yeah,
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yep.
Sorry.
That's right.
So I was working for the insurance, and it was funny. The teacher, it's not funny. The teacher that I was working for, because I was a college graduate, I was a sub. I worked, but I also was a sub. Mm-hmm. So the teacher I was working with, her son got really sick, so she was out for like 6 to 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. So instead of them giving somebody the class, they just gave it to me. Mm-hmm. And you know that I am an egomaniac, so I'm sitting there like, why am I working for somebody else?
Yes.
I can do this myself.
Yes, I know. Yes.
So that's when I got into it, and I'm gonna say I didn't know I was gonna love it like I do. Mm-hmm. I think being able to light the fire of our youth is important to me now.
Yeah,
it's something that we always talk about. The worst thing about not playing anymore is not having passion for that for something else, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess that passion that I had for playing and winning and all that kind of stuff, that's what I have in education. I think that we talked about social justice, and I think that part of it is we need a lot more of us.
Yeah. Yep.
Students should be able to see African Americans in different type of positions, and mm-hmm. any minority in different type of positions.
Yeah.
Being able to understand that there's another way to do it, mm-hmm. and so that's really, like I said, important to me. It's something that I'm passionate about, and hopefully, the one thing we always talk about a legacy and things like that. I think how you leave your legacy is through other people, mm-hmm. and I think that how I want to leave my legacy is through all those students that I help and that I talk to and things like that. So hopefully, my name lives with them. Mm-hmm. and making sure that they're able to get what they need to get. Jumping on my education soapbox a little bit, we talk about when we help a kid, we change his or her life, but we don't really change his or her life. We actually change generations of lives, and that's how I look at it. So that's why it's so important for me, because it's not about that one person or that one family. It's that generations of their families that we're actually helping and we're moving forward. So that's my soapbox.
Man, Eddie, man, that's great, man. I see that you've always been passionate about education, about it, and changing lives, because you got that an opportunity to change lives as an educator, and that's important too. You know, and that goes with your exploits that you had on the court. You know, and Eddie, I can't wait to see you on Saturday, man, being inducted, man. You can cry if you know those things happen. You know what I'm saying, Eddie? You can cry. You know, either you're gonna cry or we're gonna heckle you to death too. You know, out there in the audience. So you're gonna get one or the other. You're gonna get one of the two. So. Nah, but I can't wait though, Eddie. But this is well deserved and long overdue. Personally, I mean, I can see you being like, God damn, what took your damn so long? But you know, but yeah, I guess it's a process, you know. But like I always say, man, pound for pound, my man Crazy Eddie was one of the best players in in Jasper history. Pound for pound, this guy can do it, man. And you know, great basketball player, but better person too, man. So, but Eddie, man, I appreciate having you on solo. Eddie got his solo mission. We got him his flowers so he can smell them. We're gonna have a grand old time on Saturday. You know, that's gonna be fun, man. I look forward to seeing you, your family, and everything too, man. But Eddie, man, thanks again, my man. Appreciate you, brother, for coming on.
All right, then.
All right, Eddie. I'll talk to you soon, brother. See you Saturday.
All right, then.
All right.
All right, then.
Later, man. All right. That was my guy, Carey Edwards. Oh, man. He's getting inducted for the Athletic Hall of Fame at Manhattan College this Saturday, man. So I can't wait. You're a former good teammate of mine, man. Better person, man, than a basketball player. You know, that's Carey Edwards, man. Incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory as I go to my theme music. There we go. Ha ha. All right. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, thank you for watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday, which you do. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And you can check out our past episodes in this episode here. If you go to our YouTube channel, which is called Transition Tuesdays, and when you're on our channel, please like and subscribe before leaving the channel. Very, very important that you do that, okay? You can follow me on Instagram or IG, like the old young people say. IG at Russ Will Transitions. That's Russ Will Transitions with an S. Okay, please follow me if you can. And major shout out to my special guest this week, Mr. Carey Edwards. All right, a Jasper legend, and his legacy is going to be uplifted on Saturday when he goes in in the Athletic Hall of Fame at Manhattan College. I can't wait to be a part of that event. We're going to heckle him. We're going to give him something good. Again, he's either going to be heckled to death or he's going to cry. We're going to make him do one or the other. So stay tuned for that. I have the report on that next week on that as well. So I want to also give a major shout out again to our sponsor, Native Of, okay, which is founded by entrepreneur Malik Means. And Native Of is the signature brand of everything cool and conscious in the shirt, t-shirt, and hoodie universe. So head over to nativeof.com. That's NATIVEOF.com. Head over there, or you can reach them on IG at _native of and order your conscious merchandise today. Make sure you do that. And also keep in mind, guests of Transition Tuesdays receive a candy gift pack, compliments of our sponsor, Sweet Candy Cafe. Now, Sweet Candy Cafe is the home of Southern Sweetness, located in downtown Lumberton, North Carolina. So after the show, head over to sweetcandycafe.com and get all of your confectionery goodies right there. All right, very, very important. And also keep in mind, they ship home and abroad, so you got no excuse. Get you some confectionery goodies today at sweetcandycafe.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, as we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless.